Lords and ladies, welcome back to MyStreet 5 years later with your host, Jacob Butter. I think that's when the music ends. I just tell by like the sound bar, whenever. Again, can't hear my own intro music. There's a lot that I can't do nowadays, obviously. So, welcome back to MyStreet 5 years later. We are waiting on a guest, and that will be done shortly. If you're watching the VOD at some point, I didn't take out the 12 minutes of preparation time that I had to do this time because it's gone so weird recently. Then I apologize again. I probably already said something in the chat, but just in case I didn't, here I am. I'm sorry about that, and if I did edit it out, then it's good you know what I'm talking about. I'm glad. You don't need to see that, literally. So anyway, actually I do see our guest. Let us remove part of the thing. So welcome to Maya.
Hi.
All right, and with that settled, we have Phoenix Job Verb High Graduation Days Episode 2. Will she notice me?
No.
All right, thanks everyone for watching. Please like or dislike because you're a bit now. All right. Let's tackle this question in a bit more detail. Still don't have popcorn, so I've got blueberries and grapes this time, because why on earth not? And actually, new Levi mug, just raiding my nan's cupboard of fancy mugs that she has. So there we go.
So ever since you pointed out that you can't hear the music, now I notice that whenever you're like bobbing your head or something, it just looks funny, like awkwardly timed.
Yeah, that's also why I couldn't tell I didn't have the echo track on until I remembered to turn it down. That's what happens sometimes. Yeah,
I just
pretend
tune out your echo because you forget to turn it off so often.
Yeah, I used to hear it, but now because I don't have my headphones directly plugged into the sound device, because that's I can't use that setup here because the cable was way too short. Then I just been pretending because I remember what it sounds like. I call that Beethovening it. Okay, so, anyways, whatever. We're here to watch some math now. Let's not to talk about Beethoven, as fascinating as that would be. Anyways, without further distraction, on with the action. Yeah, you're bobbing to the music.
She's here. She's here. She's here. She's actually here in person. My heart is beating so fast. No.
Aaron, if your heart was beating so fast, we would be able to hear it like an Emerald Secrets. Or was that always just that house?
No.
Well, it was like after POV, like kind of relived.
Yeah, hang on. What have you got there? What's your stream snack for today?
Frozen mac and cheese.
You know what? That's fair.
Welcome to college, kids.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, it's fitting.
Darn it! Not again!
At the same time.
Why does this always happen every time I feel something?
Actually, yeah, why does it always happen when you feel something? This is one of... It's only been like the past 4 years this has happened, Aaron.
Still, she's here, and I haven't seen her in
Blame it on Derek.
2 years.
Yeah, I did say last stream that Derek seemed to actually like increase Aaron's social anxiety to the point that it was in season 1, as contrasting to like Phoenix Job High, where it was still not good, but it wasn't as bad.
I feel like it's also like it's like that seems like a genetic thing at this point, because like he was super anxious because his dad lost control, and I think it was his dad. It might have been his grandfather, but like,
well, oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, it was. I think it was his grandfather that lost that like, you know, had the whole like wolf monster thing that happened before he did. Yeah, that was.
So then, like, like he was raised, you have to hide this, and he raised his kid with that on top of like already most likely having raised serotonin levels and stuff, which 50-50 could have also been affecting Rachel because of like just the lifestyle that they hold, which is not like high levels of stress aren't exactly great for pregnant women.
I see what you mean. So it affected Rachel while Yeah, I was gonna say it affects Rachel like all the time. And to be honest, they're not exactly low stress people anyway, in like even in their occupations. So
yeah,
I can understand that. And actually, that brings me to one thing that I will say. The main objective of Falcon University, it seemed, was like bridge the gap between Phoenix Drop High and MyStreet. And Aiden is kind of the fact that there are parts that didn't do it well. But I think as far as Aaron's character,
I'm Gareth. I throw people through trees.
As far as Aaron's character goes, at least it makes a smooth transition there. But yeah, I know. I am the Gareth. I throw people in trees, and Kawaii-chan threw me out the window. I broke my knees.
To see her. Does she even remember?
And they're worried about werewolf insurance.
Yeah, they probably got better insurance in this college, actually. I reckon. Principal Lena was cheap.
The only reason Garth got to stay was because he was a donor.
There! Finally, everything is unpacked.
Oh my god, wait, did we get to meet the roommate?
I hope so. But also, poor roommate having no say on the decoration whatsoever.
Well, didn't they like just 50-50 it?
Not in last episode, they didn't. I'm more surprised that Aphmau has decorated this room that she's only going to stay in for 1 week.
I'm really on my own. No parent? No one to tell me what to do?
Drink coffee!
Well, I just set up my room and there's
We'll
2
get there.
hours until the first event of orientation?
You know something? Actually, this series was the reason that I set myself a goal to never actually drink coffee during my entire time at college. Which I did do.
Yeah,
I just didn't say anything.
Agreed. This series actually solidified my disgust for coffee.
It's like the opposite of the intention.
Dope thing.
Yeah, I
don't
like coffee. And then this just made me like coffee less.
I think we're all just like, I think that's kind of like what happened with Aphmau, except for the fact that she actually tried it. I just never gave myself the temptation.
No, it's bitter.
I think we're all just stubborn people, honestly. We're all just too stubborn. Yeah, I think all right.
Hello! I know you're in there. Okay, I've respected your privacy by knocking, but I'm coming in anyway.
Right.
That sounds like a younger version of Lucinda.
I guess, but also older, because we've seen Lucinda younger than this and older than this.
I mean, like the voice actor.
Oh right, okay. Wait,
like voice-wise, it sounds like a younger version of whoever voices Lucinda.
Hang on a second. Wait a minute. Who actually does do Luca's voice? Let me just check.
Coffee.
Did you say coffee? What? Just like. No, I don't want the Pixar movie Google. It's not the same.
Why not check the description?
Because this is a downloaded video. I don't actually have the description with me. Yeah, Wiki would have the first results. Oh, it's because I spelled Luca with a C and it's Luca with a K. That's my B. Right, let's see. And scroll down. Okay, voice actor is actually Caitlin Barr. So we're in a mutant girl situation where one of the voice actors has the same name as one of the characters in the series. Because the thing is that the current voice actor for Morwenna has her actual real name is Raina. Exactly.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Oh,
yeah, like every time she has to say like her own name in the script, I'm just like, she's just like, oh my word, saying my own name is weird. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. It's spelled differently, but still. This Caitlin is not spelled differently. It's the same.
Sleep. Wake up!
That's gotta hurt.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you too much.
Luca? What do you mean you didn't mean to? Girl, do you know how loud you get?
I guess I don't
Well, not enough to wake you up instantly, clearly.
think about it really. Just sounds like normal little me.
Wait, how did you meet Luca again?
When she started dating Caitlin, I guess. I think. It's not exactly explained, but that's my guess.
Okay,
Calling
because I was
yourself
like, I
little?
can't pinpoint a time.
Yeah, no, it was between season 2 of Phoenix Drop now, so yeah, I guess connect in college at the very least. Have been friends before dating, and then
Or
I
not.
heard that.
there's in start dating. I mean, this is college, so
Literally,
not unheard of.
my roommate gets drunk with a girl, and then they get together.
Okay. I mean, since you've only just started going to college, and this is already a regular custom, and you're saying gets as if it's like a habitual thing, I presume it's not a lasting relationship situation.
No. It happened. No, they're still together, and this happened during welcome week, which is the first week of classes.
Oh, okay,
like the first
fine.
week before classes.
It's because you said gets like it was like a regular thing.
Nah.
Wow. Now I know they told you to settle in for orientation, but you settled in. You do
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
realize you're only going to be here for a week, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, but like, I wanted to get a feel for what it would be like for me to be on my own.
Oh, I didn't mean to embarrass you. I think it's cute you're being all extra.
What do you?
I do like how like all of Aphmal's like older friends, like until the time of MyStreet itself, just constantly point out like how adorable and cute her actions are, like all the time. I'm starting to think that maybe like poor 4'9" Jess was always being told that she was cute right up until college age by her female friends, and being hit on by
Probably.
guys.
What are you doing here,
Because
by the way?
she's tiny.
Is
Yeah, that's why I stated the height in the description. Yeah.
Caitlin with you? I thought you guys were still in class.
One, Caitlin isn't with me right now because she's getting out of her class, which brings me to point numero dos. College doesn't work like high school.
It doesn't?
Nope. Classes are at different times depending on your schedule. Like right now, I happen to have an hour before my next class, which will be starting soon. So, I wanted to drop by and greet you with a gift. Coffee!
Ugh.
Oh, come on. It's perfect for you. You just woke up. You're probably exhausted from packing. This is a perfect pick-me-up.
Luca, I'm sorry,
I mean, the only reason she just woke up is because you were there.
but coffee tastes horrible.
I kind of figured you'd say that. So,
Yeah.
I took the liberty to mix you a super sweet coffee just for you.
Actually, my brother used to do that. I don't know if he still does it with his coffee now, but he used to like have a lot of sugar with his. So I just guess he got like a double rush.
How did
That
I
was,
know
like,
you'd be
one of my
here?
sisters, and then the other one just drinks it straight black. And I'm
Aren't
like,
all of you- yeah.
you're crazy.
I was gonna say, aren't you like the oldest sibling? How?
I
Like,
am the oldest. She's
So,
been
yeah,
drinking
just-
coffee since she was in 5th grade.
the implication. Good. Okay.
Yeah,
might
like
have been-
my stepmom had to limit the amount of coffee she was allowed to drink because she had a coffee addiction.
You know something. One of my least favorite Mutant Girl scenes is the one where Marwick comes out and just says like, "Oh, I get so angry without my coffee and stuff." And the only reason that that's even in the series is because Shiny, when we were writing the series together for that brief stint of time, decided he was going to play Skyrim during all of our script writing sessions and not contribute that much. So any contribution that he had, really, I was like, great, this is something to say like, okay, fine, he can have his mark on the series. It's like I was
think that's
definitely
just
trying to
kind
give
of-
him credit, even though he wasn't putting in the work, which is backwards logic, actually. But you know.
Yeah. That's when you just write their name off of the project.
I mean, that wouldn't be long before that happened anyway. But yes.
Here. Luca, let her get settled in by herself.
But
Oh wow! So that was a really short class then. Like Kanan's coming out of her class now.
we can't just throw her out alone.
Also, wait a minute. Did Kane just pull Lawrence and just show up randomly behind someone?
She needs to know the joy of
She walked through
coffee.
the door and was
no, I
talking while
don't.
she walked through.
You stay out of this, Missy. Luca, we said we were gonna meet up with her after her first date.
But coffee! She needs to know the joys of it if she wants to survive college.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, guess what? I proved that's not the case.
Now that you mention
Sugar!
yeah, if you should try some.
That is also a thing. Yeah.
What? No, take Luca and her coffee with you, remember? You were saying something about letting me do this on my own.
Hey, that's right. Luca, stop distracting me by being adorable.
All right, fine. Look, I'm gonna leave the.
That's like I was just remembering the scene where Aphmau actually says that to Aaron. It's like, stop being adorable. Which I also reference in the Mutant Girl.
Coffee right here. Af, please.
Yeah, sure. Just leave the coffee right here, and I will move it. Right goes to the window here. And drops out.
Try it. Find at ease knowing it might be you.
I do like the fact that this is the second time. This is like 2 for 2 in episodes where Luca has forced Aphmau to try different things. And just be like, okay, well, if you don't like it, then whatever.
And
Except for this time, she won't back down and become her entire thing later.
Caitlin, I'll leave her alone if you walk me to class.
Oh, yeah, deal.
Well, joke's on you, Luca. I was gonna do that anyway.
Af, drink your coffee.
Okay, moms. Sheesh. Now can I please be alone
so
so
it
I can
begins.
not drink the coffee?
Deal. We'll see you later, Af. Good luck at all the orientation events.
This is like made even better by the fact that Caitlin could have in another life could have easily been Aphmau's sister. That is a thing that Eric literally said in the series. If I played my cards right, you two might have been sisters.
But that's not how it works.
No, it isn't.
It's
It
not
absolutely-
genetics.
I don't know. Okay, yes, that's true. Genetically, it would not make sense. In the rules of this series where corporeal fragments are a thing, maybe.
My girlfriend. What am I gonna do with her? See ya, Av.
Take her away, just carry
It
her.
would
with one
make
arm like
sense.
this.
Actually, it would make sense if he had played his cards right and Sylvana had come to him crying when Zach walked out.
True. That might have come across as I don't think that would have been I guess to be in a vulnerable state at that point, so maybe not.
Yeah, but if he had played his cards right in high school, that wouldn't have changed Sylvana's werewolf obsession or werewolf attraction, I guess. So chances are she still would have fallen for Zach regardless. But they would be a lot closer, and because around the same time, a little after Zach walked out on them, Caitlin's mom got trapped in the thingamabobber.
Yeah.
At which point, that leaves 2 single/widowed, or supposedly widowed.
I mean, I see
parents.
what you're getting at. I mean, that is what happens eventually, regardless. But
Yes,
I
it would have
think,
happened a lot younger if he had played his cards right.
I mean, if he played his cards right, they would have bypassed the whole Zack and Elizabeth thing in the first place, because obviously nowadays, even though she has that werewolf obsession, it doesn't affect how she feels about Eric. At the same time, it would have meant that Eric's jealousy would have been dealt with a lot sooner. I mean, he wouldn't have to bake himself into a giant cupcake to try and get Aaron to bite him. So we've been spared that eventuality.
I guess I'm
Later.
particularly sensitive to that specific topic, because if my dad had played his cards right, I wouldn't exist either. Because him and my stepmom dated when they were teenagers, and then got back together in their 40s.
I mean, yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
So I wouldn't have my step siblings if that didn't. I also wouldn't have my step siblings if my mom's fiance didn't die. But that's another thing to just not address. I wouldn't even exist if that hadn't happened.
Yeah, it is. It is weird to think about. Like I sometimes will think like late at night, particularly, just like what events have led like in a chain reaction like up to where I am now. Like so many things would have been different if like one particular moment in my life had actually changed. That might be why I like doing like the like stuff to do with like butterfly effect and what ifs and stuff, and thinking about like logically how things would have been different if certain things. That bleeds into my method of fan fiction, incidentally, because as you've seen from the Ginny and Luna thing, I actually like seeing like one change and how it spirals later on. Look, you know it makes sense.
That's a little too close to home sometimes, because I will think about that and then things will go in a very not so great direction.
I mean, that's fair. In my case, it's like, wow, I'm relieved that I'm here in particular, or sometimes it'll be the case that I regret not doing a certain thing myself. Like, for example, my biggest regret on YouTube is not giving the Music Girl its own channel when I started off. I assumed that because I had a bit of a following already, I would actually benefit more from having it on the same channel. But actually, seeing how GOT channels work now, it's better to have something that is just gacha related, regardless of how many things how many different things you actually do within gacha, because that's the one niche. That's what it counts it as. So it would have been way better at the time. Particularly.
Why don't you post the remakes on your other channel?
Because the remakes are anniversary specials, so I've been putting them so far on the same place they came in originally. But that isn't such a bad idea, to be honest. Like from this point onwards, possibly I'll think about that. I've got the more gacha from Jacob channel just sitting there collecting dust right now. So yeah, food for thought.
Well, I won't be sitting there collecting dust for very long.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah.
She's going to ask me later how the coffee was, and she's gonna know. She'll just know if I've tried it or not. All right, here goes nothing. Ugh, gross! Ugh, it feels like vanilla cookie in coffee form.
That doesn't sound bad.
But it is. Have you ever had a vanilla bean frappuccino that's caffeinated?
No, I'm just saying that vanilla cookies sound delicious, so I don't know.
This again.
Okay, but it has like a tinted taste to it.
Okay, fine.
Ugh.
Why don't I remember this theme song? Like, clearly I do, but like, I don't.
People forget about this particular this series like altogether. So.
All right, Jennifer, was it?
Yep, but you can call me
I
Jenny.
forgot about her!
Jenny.
See, this is what I mean. People don't remember it as much. I wonder if that's the thing with that. I wonder if that's the thing with Aiden. Maybe he just doesn't remember the stuff that did happen in Falcon Claw as much because he's tuned it out because it was his least favorite. I don't know.
Right. Thanks for taking the time.
Falcon Hall had some good points. Like Aaron sneaking out of windows, Garth throwing someone through a tree.
I mean, that wasn't so good for him eventually, but
That was so awesome.
Okay, so you are team leader of your group of students. Given that, the school wants all team leaders to be
The
close to
red
their
and
group as much as
black-haired
possible.
werewolf.
yeah. Oh, Diana. Yeah.
Well, that's gonna be kind of hard, seeing as this is my dorm room, and it's, far from the freshman dorms.
True, which is why you should let them know where they can find you. Maybe give them your contact number. Something just to let them know they're not alone.
Shouldn't this have been like a briefing from like that they should have done before last time? Before she started introducing people and putting them in their dorms, which she already had the information for clearly in advance.
Your job is to comfort them, hang out with them, and make sure that they're taken care of.
Of course. In that case, if someone wanted to volunteer to help...
Oh, I'm sorry. I just thought of this is not the episode's fault. I just for some reason in my mind I just remembered the Asdorf movie joke where it's like, take the dog out, Jimmy. Yes, mother. For a walk, Jimmy. It's like, take care of the students. Sure thing.
Alongside me.
You can have one assistant as long as you let us know, but they won't.
Which, yeah, that was a thing that was said in last episode, which is why she did the job, so she could have Aaron as the assistant. That was the plan. She knows this.
Won't get excused from classes like you do.
Awesome! Aaron wanted to help so much. Hopefully I can talk him into participating. That will open him up for sure.
Either way.
Okay, this is the thing. From the perspective of somebody watching this, imagine like we're back 5 years ago when this came out. The first episode came out yesterday. We have not forgotten this.
Glad to have you on board for this. Make sure that you wear this shirt when on duty.
Got it.
And he just so happens to be walking past. What are the odds? What are the odds?
Whoa, that's the first time I've seen him out in the halls. Maybe he's sick.
He lives on the top floor. He needs to walk across the halls to get to his dorm. What?
He has Agent R if he needs food. He can, like, never leave his room.
I guess.
I'm pretty sure Agent R is not tasked with letting him die.
This is so...
yeah, no, of course not.
Sorry, I shouldn't speak of him like that. I'm sure he has his reasons.
Wait, what are you saying?
I should keep my big mouth shut. Understand that I didn't mean any disrespect towards the guy. It's just he's been living in this building, and that's the first time I've seen him walking up to his room at this time.
You're telling me Aaron has been in the same building as me this entire year, and I had no idea about
You're an idiot, yes.
it?
Are you okay? You seem pretty upset about this.
No, I mean, I'm fine. It's just, he's in a few of my classes, and, well, you think I would have noticed.
Yes, you think you would have noticed, exactly.
Yeah, but I'm sure a lot of people don't know about him living up on the top floor alone.
Huh? What do you mean?
I mean, no, I shouldn't talk about this.
Doesn't he have a roommate?
Okay,
This character is just the equivalent of Hagrid in the Philosopher's Stone. I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that.
You really are asking the hard questions, so I'll level with you. I haven't been able to talk to anyone about this since I'm the only RA in the building, but it's been on my mind, you know? This stays strictly between you and me, got it?
Promise.
Alright, I'm transferring out anyway, so this won't reflect on me. So, Aaron, right? He lives on the top floor of this building. Alone. No roommate, no one.
He has the whole floor to himself?
The floor isn't as big as you'd think. It's much smaller, but yeah, he's got the top floor to himself. Honestly, this is between you and me, but he's an odd one. I've been the resident assistant for this building for 2 years, and not once have I seen him really socialize. Also, the dean specifically told us not to let people up there, so I think he's got issues or something.
I see.
By the way, again, this is a conversation we had last episode. You know, that was like what Betty and Kathy was saying. That's two that was there, Kathy and Betty. There's a whole conversation about him like back last year and like all the rumors that have been heard. So clearly this isn't like new information. I guess the RA just hasn't realized it's spread as much.
Anyway, you should get settled in. This event is going to be in a few minutes. Good luck to you. Let me know if you have any questions. See you, Jenny.
Quite frankly, if the first event's in a few minutes, I just like put my stuff down and then go and then walk and find my way there first.
Thank you! I can't believe this! I'm such a stupid idiot!
Well, yeah.
How did I not know he was up there? He must be that secluded. No one must have known aside from that RA.
Which is exactly what he just said. You know something? Maybe this is also a bridge between Phoenix Drop High and Season 1, because in Phoenix Drop High, we had a whole issue that I talked about in several streams, where people were reminded of stuff they had either just seen or only appeared in a few episodes ago. Which, while I understand that for new viewers, the new viewers, for the most part, would most likely go back to the first episode and like refer to them the things that have happened. But I would assume, instead of being like, okay, well, I guess I'm confused, I'm not going to engage with this. How dare episode 33 of this series not explain itself to me at all times?
Yeah.
No! Bad, Jenny! I was just told not to. But he's alone up there, which means I'd be alone.
You wish
with
he was
him
alone.
if
You
I-
wish he was alone too.
No! Bad! You don't even know him, Jenny!
You know something? This is got you thinking. There's so many like like bad boy gotcha things and stuff like that where like the main character oversteps the boundaries of the other person to actually like get to know them and such. But I don't think I've seen too many where like you get like the same like genuine level of like infatuation and obsession that Jenny has. That might be any gotcha tubers out there. That might be a unique angle to explore. Just saying.
Besides, I have a job to do right now. Which I'm gonna be late for if I...
Oh, but I say Nuke Avenue, I don't mean like yanderes. I'm strictly specific, do not mean yanderes. There's a difference.
I don't gather everyone together right now!
That's why I said you shouldn't be settled in first and then just go, yeah. Nice detail with the key as well, because we saw that in the last episode. That's how it happens. Wasn't that the reception?
Oh my
That's
God.
the freshman building, yeah.
Hi! It's time for our first event! Please head
That
outside!
looks a bit like Ian.
Hi! It's time for our first event!
Well, see, I mean, we've already had two scenes of like involving Lucinda in a shower in this exact setup. So you know what? I'm glad they don't pull something like that again.
Please head outside!
Wait, did you just like open the doors?
Hey!
Oh.
I'm coming in!
Huh, that was actually good. It didn't taste as bad as I
Why would you then? Okay, you said it didn't taste as bad as you thought. Did you finish the entire thing? The point was to just try it. Okay, fine, whatever.
This is terrible, Luca! Why are you back? Oh! Jenny! Hi! It's time for our first event! Please head outside! Your place looks nice. You know you're only gonna be here for a week, right?
Yes.
Good call!
I'm still confused about where she packed all of this. She brought one suitcase with her. I refuse to believe that's possible.
Now, please meet outside!
Part of it was a box of paint.
Yes, but she has a chair, an entire TV that she brought with her, and like several things like bed linen. That plant might not have been there. I'm not sure. Books on
Oh,
the
I
shelf.
could I sent stuff to my college before I moved in. It was already in my dorm.
Okay, but we saw the scene where it wasn't there before. We saw her set up everything.
I thought that was Luca for a second. I don't want her to
Yes, we know! That we heard the joke of you saying her name! Stop explaining it!
know that I thought the coffee was good.
To this.
Kawaii-chan! Ah, Aphmau-senpai! You're here! I wasn't sure if you were coming!
Hey, did you know that I just met with Caden's girlfriend Luca and she took maybe some coffee and I tried it and it was actually that bad? Did I tell you about this, Kawaii-chan? Let me just explain the whole thing. I'm kidding. As you know, I conducted a raid in the Great Libraries. Most of it didn't exist.
Yep! I arrived super early, so I spent the morning and afternoon sleeping!
I'm just glad to see a familiar
Well, that's classic Kawaii-chan. We know she didn't love our paradise.
face and
Aph! Tara?
Yes! Familiar face. Not to us yet, but doesn't matter. Welcome, Terra.
You're here too?
Looks a little bit like
Yup.
Donna.
Hey,
Kind of, actually. Fan theory, Terra's Donna's daughter.
Kawaii-chan? Hey,
Yeah.
Tara!
No, all of Donna's kids were werewolves.
Well, that's because of Logan.
This is perfect!
And you think that Donna
can
got
all
together with someone else?
It's possible.
Together!
Actually, wait a minute. The way that the fragments work in this world, no one ended up with anyone different than how they ended up in diaries, except for for Kawaii-chan with Zane instead of Dante. So, yeah,
Well,
most likely not.
Because
I know you guys didn't talk a lot of
And that's like a hard that really can't happen because also Aaron.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Aaron ended up with the same person in Diaries somewhat.
Yeah, but
Actually,
Aaron also
wait a
had
minute.
a kid.
Yeah, I guess he did. He never had the thing with Lily. He had a friendship with
Yeah.
her that lasted a little while, but that was it.
In high school, but I think you guys would make good friends.
Ivy never lost her head.
Also, I'm really excited for this. We're gonna see Nekoet in a few episodes. So she exists independently of Dante and Kawaii-chan not being her parents. So I'm so excited for that.
For sure! Alright,
What do you mean? Nekoet is a treasure. How dare you?
if I can get
like
your
Nekoet.
attention,
Nekoet
everyone
annoyed
please
me.
sit in a
I like
circle.
badass Nekoet
Let's
so
sit
much
together.
more.
Okay, that's fair. Although that Nekoet was slightly older, so maybe it'll be a while. I don't know. She could theoretically just reappear in the series somewhere.
For sure!
She could be going to Phoenix Drop High at the time of MyStreet in general.
I don't think so.
Oh wait, no, she would have graduated by this point. She could be going
Yeah.
to Falcon Claw at the time of MyStreet in general, because it was a good like 7 years thinking about it before they actually moved in and stuff. Yeah.
But then we also have like time skips and stuff, so it would really only be like the very, very beginning of my.
The time skip
I'm
was
pretty
the
sure.
7 years. Yeah. Actually, yeah. I think Nekoet is meant to be Nekoet was meant to be like 10 at this point, or like that was the one where she looked like when she was 10 or 9. Actually, it depends on what source you actually have. Which means that after the time skip to season 1, she would actually be 16 or 17, so she would almost be going into Falcon Claw by this point, if she went there at all.
I meant how like years in MyStreet
Oh,
aren't
oh.
coinciding with the seasons.
Well,
after that initial larger time skip, there was also like the Afmao's year part, like in between 4 and 5, and then there was also like the extended.
Yeah, Maya,
periods
don't
of-
you worry about that. I've done all the calculations.
No worries.
Yeah.
Oh, cute wolf stockings.
Thanks!
Ooh.
That's a callback, isn't it? They had those in like original Diaries outfit, not the same ones, but same idea.
Welcome, everyone!
When did Jenny
By now,
fade?
you've all
I think she just like threw the shirt on, like while she was like running over or something.
met me, but I'm gonna introduce myself again. I'm Jennifer, or Jenny, and I'm going to be your team leader, meaning I'm gonna lead you guys in activities this week to get you involved in the school and college life here at Falcon Claw University. Today is day 1, and we're going to do introductions.
I've said this before, but Jenny's commitment really is on a whole other level, especially considering that her ulterior motive for doing this, and she had no real motivation otherwise. She's putting in the effort and not making it the student's problem.
So, who wants to go first?
Well, it's not fair to them, so.
Well, yes, but think about the way that other characters act in this environment to make their problems something to deal with other people. Snape.
Cold feet, huh? No problem. We'll just go in order then. Starting from this side over here. Give me your name and your favorite thing to do.
This
Go!
side over here looks at the entire group.
Yeah.
Oh my god, wait, is that Zane?
Yes, that's Zane.
Want to go.
Wait, what? Seriously, you're here.
How did you not see? Okay, we didn't see him because he was out of frame. But how did you, Afnal, not see him?
Are
He
you?
was busy talking
And the excuse of
Kawaii-chan.
Afnal being 4 feet tall does not count in this instance, because that was used on the ring in season 5, but that's because Aaron was in front of her.
I've got
There was
this.
nothing blocking her.
blind?
Zane
You got it?
camouflages in with the shadows.
Well, he is leader of the Shadow Knights.
As you are dense? Because that would make sense.
Hey, that rhymed!
Don't. I agree, Kawaii-chan. Give him credit for that, but also like maybe not the time right now
Shut up,
to appreciate the rhyme.
idiot.
Hey now, that's not a nice way to talk to a.
Don't call her that, you. Why do you have to be here at this school?
She's there. Because my other brothers are here too, stupid.
Why, you.
I guess that was sibling discount.
Hey, this is
Fight,
Zane,
fight.
everyone! Yay!
Hey! I didn't even get to talk about my favorite.
Next person!
I'm Diana. I enjoy playing video games. Sup, everyone? I'm Hank. I enjoy, a
Oh
lot
my
of
god,
things.
he could be Apple's brother, not Apple. Orange? Low.
His name wasn't Apple or Orange. That's just what he put down his shirt.
But really, that could be Low's brother. He's got the hair color and everything.
Yeah, I do appreciate that. He could in fact even be Toby's brother. He's got the eyes.
Who was Toby?
Toby was the captain of the Guardian forces.
Yeah.
I'm Peter.
Oh,
I also enjoy video games.
A character with circular glasses like that named Peter.
Not Jeff.
No. I know not Jeff. I'm just saying that's a clear Spider-Man reference.
Hi, I'm Tara. I enjoy
Oh.
playing musical instruments, and
Yeah,
my
I never got that.
favorite is the harp.
I'm Aphmau, and
Please, Tara, tell us more about this in this series. Oh wait, we don't get to see you again.
The harp?
Yes.
I like
The harp, Osborne. First we shall play the harp.
Sorry, I'm thinking Spider-Man now.
writing and drawing.
I'm Kawaii-chan, and I enjoy baking
Is that from
sweets.
Tobey Maguire?
It's not from. It's from the movie Tobey Maguire was in. Yes, the franchise is not named after him.
No. I like there's Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, and Andrew Garfield.
Yes, that is true.
Like, I'm pretty sure Osborne. Like, although Tom Holland, but like I'm pretty sure Osborne was specifically only in Tobey Maguire. But I've never seen Andrew Garfield.
Until No Way Home. But yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that's why I
Antonio,
said
and I enjoy
Tom
baking
Holland, but,
too. More so traditional dishes.
Looks like we have quite the group here. Now, I know you guys have so much more to each of you than one thing. After all,
And in the case of Zane, 0 things.
people are
What
more
was his name?
complicated.
What was his name? I missed it. Let me try and scroll back.
I like writing and drawing.
I'm Kawaii-chan, and I enjoy baking sweets.
That's not all you enjoy, Kawaii-chan.
I'm Antonio, and I enjoy baking too.
Antonio.
More so traditional
That's-
dishes.
I
That's
forgot
gotta
about
be
him, yeah.
Gene's voice actor, right? Gene and who else
Hang on
does
a
that guy
second.
voice?
Let me. I've got the Aphmau wiki page still up. Let's
No.
see. Let's see.
I think I found my new favorite ship.
What and which? Wait, is it involving Antonio, who just appeared?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me guess. Antonio and Kawaii-chan both enjoy baking, and thus. Oh, okay.
Nah.
Then what?
Try
Antonio
again.
And, Antonio and who?
Aphmau.
Why?
Because I like Kawaii. I like Zane-chan too much to split them up.
So you just like pawned him off to Aphmau because she was just there. You know what? In that regard, why not Antonio and Tara? We never see her love interests.
Because I don't remember Tara. But didn't
She's right
Antonio just
there.
compliment her socks?
Okay.
They have similar interests in socks.
Okay, but Aphmau isn't Dobby, so that won't go that far.
Fine. Antonio and Guy.
Who isn't even in this scene? Right, whatever.
Oh, also, I think, have you ever watched How I Met Your Mother?
Yes, actually.
There was a scene that I saw on YouTube, I'm pretty sure, where it was like, Barney was saying how like he knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy whose name is Guy, who is the guy. Yeah. Did Aphmau watch How I Met Your Mother?
Might have done. I haven't seen any clear references. Then again, How I Met Your Mother has like 10 seasons, so I could have just missed something. I don't know.
Also, but like Guy, literally.
Yes, I get it. Also, I just looked up his voice actors, and it's a guy called Matthew Curtis, so not Alejandro Saab, unfortunately.
Looks like we have quite the group here. Now, I know you guys have so much more to each of you than one thing. After all, people are more complicated. Now, to break the tension, we're going to play...
They certainly are. Someone should tell Luca that before coffee becomes
Spin the bottle.
Character trait.
Musical chat!
They're not gonna play spin the bottle if they
Aw.
don't know each other and like they've just met. You're meant to put them at
But
ease
that would
in a
break all
social
the tension
situation.
because everybody would have to kiss somebody.
Yeah, sure, you play spin the bottle on your first day of college.
Huh?
I got completely plastered 3 days in.
That's close, but not quite the same. Also,
We were playing drinking games to begin with, and it was.
I will say I
think
did actually
We might have played Spin the Bottle. I was
I
just a
did-
little too.
too drunk to remember. Yeah, of course. I did actually walk in on some of my friends in like my drama course playing spin the bottle one time. I didn't join, I just observed them, but yeah.
We're not going to do anything too crazy today, so I thought playing a game would be nice. Let me get us set up, and then we can begin.
Where did the chairs come from? How did
Or
you get
the
chairs in open
speakers.
field and
All
laptop
right.
and speakers? Where'd you put all this stuff? Okay, why is it in this series in particular, people are able to just carry multiple items and stuff them goodness knows where? It makes no sense. First Apple's suitcase and now this. Where did Jenny put everything? Like in the shirt that she carried with her or something?
Here we go.
Is the shirt a pocket dimension? Is Jenny like Doraemon or something? Or Mary Poppins?
Music is still playing.
Oh, bye, Peter. Yeah, I know, right? Can you imagine like getting like speakers, like 2 speakers for this, and then playing like royalty-free Kevin MacLeod on the?
Oh my god! So we played musical chairs at one of the clubs I'm in, and like this ass bleep ball was like turning up and down the volume on the speaker.
Yeah.
To mess with us and make
Oh.
us think that the music had stopped.
Yeah.
And then the music would keep going. And it was
Not
just
gonna lie,
like, oh my god.
Not gonna lie, that is genius. Sorry, mental state is talking.
I love all the red hairs.
Hmm.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
wow,
Zane's
thank you.
eyeliner.
So the record scratches are meant to be the sign this time. He didn't even touch her. Like, what?
Well, no, he pulled the chair out from under her.
All right.
She didn't say we couldn't do that.
Very true, Zane. I appreciate the strategy. In fact, when I play musical chairs, other people have done this too.
I mean, technically, I didn't specify rules. I'm sorry.
Zane
Last
Tonio.
round.
I thought you said you liked Zane-chan too much to separate them.
Okay, but I like Zane. I like Kawaii Mao a lot too.
Alright.
Well, more like Kawaii Lin Mao.
Come on, MyStreet shippers, make up your minds.
No.
Took him a while, actually.
He looks like he face planted into the chair.
chair. Yeah,
Yeah.
do it. Hey! I mean,
Oh my
it's
God, he's
fair,
very soon.
right?
Antonio is the winner! Here you go! A gift card to the cafe on campus. All right, guys, that's all for today. The rest of the day is just hanging out, getting settled in, and hanging with your group for a bit. Tomorrow we'll meet again.
That is terrible. That is like what? That's their organization for the day.
You're all dismissed.
All right, come on. Afro and Terra say something to each
She's
other.
coming this way.
Get the camera off him. I want to see Terra.
Hi.
I should just keep it cool.
That was so much fun! I haven't played musical chairs.
Ah, of course, the classic. Oh no, she's with friends. I can't talk to her unless she's alone.
in ages. It was like a battle. You have no idea how much I wanted to take that chair and smack it upside Zane's stupid face. I'd stop you, but he deserves it.
Oh my
She
god,
didn't see
Kawaii
me.
Chan didn't even
I guess.
notice.
Oh well, yeah, that's because me for ears chewed out the nonsense. Apparently.
No.
Even
But
though
Kawaii-chan could always spot Aaron in high school.
that's a good point. Maybe she's moved on from the ship right now, but then got back into it later. It is confusing because in the big move, she says she only recently got into shipping, so maybe she fell out of it for a time and then went back into it. I don't know. MyStreet plot holes are such a minefield to get around. Oh, and look who does notice him, obviously.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know how
she's busy
anyone
with her
could not
friends.
notice him. He wears bright red and he's pretty dang tall.
Yeah.
There goes my phone.
I really should have tried to stand out more. Plus, she hasn't seen me.
Stand out, yeah, stand out more. You know what you should have tried? Instead of standing out, standing up.
In years, so she doesn't know what I look like these days.
You don't look that different. What are you talking about?
Hey there! Sorry to startle you again, but I couldn't help but notice you were looking at our group. I was wondering...
How did you notice he was looking anywhere? I'm kidding.
If maybe you had considered helping me with my group?
You're...
He spoke to me?
He said a single word. Calm down.
That's a start. Don't screw this up, Jenny. I mean, I need help, and you wanted to, so... Hey, Jenny! No, not now!
This is just ridiculous. The following sequence is just ridiculous.
Oh, go away, please! I just got Aaron to talk to me!
That's her voice!
Sorry to bother you, Jenny, but I was wondering,
You're all idiots, all three of you.
where is the cafe on campus? I was thinking of going there in the morning.
Oh, it's difficult to explain. Let me finish.
What about Afmo and Jenny?
No, like Afmao and Jenny.
How about no?
Aww. But like,
you
the
know
eye
something?
color.
What?
Afmao would love Jenny's eyes.
Maybe she does. But that's like one aspect of her.
Getting inside, and I'll give you directions later, okay?
But the eyes
Sure.
are the portal to the soul or something.
Well, if that's the case, then clearly Aaron has received the Dementor's kiss recently.
By the way, do you need any help cleaning up?
Come on, Aaron, just say something! At least look at her!
No thanks,
Yes.
I'm fine!
At least look at her.
Alright, see you soon!
You're all idiots.
Phew, she's gone. Now, where were we? Huh? Is he blushing?
Like, oh, I guess. How did you see? How did you see that? What on earth is this? Why is Jenny the most observant character and in the whole of MyStreet apparently? In a world with when no one has peripheral vision, she can see through the back of people's heads.
So dumb.
Well,
I
sometimes
should
when
have
people
said
blush, like their hands turn red as well, or their ears turn red.
I guess. They're not in frame, so I guess we can just pretend.
something. But she didn't even recognize me. I mean, of course she wouldn't.
Probably because you have a
With this
shirt
thing
on.
Very true. That is valid. You know, this is bridging the gap. So I would imagine at one point that Aaron just ditched his shirt for some reason in this series. I don't know. Had to happen someday.
Wait! Aaron! Darn it! I was so close to get him to actually talk to me! Oh well. Taking care of those
I kinda feel
students
bad
is my
for
job
Jenny.
after.
I do too. And see, that's I've said this last episode, but I am really not a fan of love triangles, like at all. Usually just despise them. However, in this situation, while I don't like the triangle itself, I like all the people involved in it.
After all.
And also, bear in mind, with this stuff, there's no stakes. We know exactly where they're going to end up.
But still,
Yeah.
I did realize.
I
he
think that's
was
why I
looking-
feel bad for Jenny usually.
I suppose.
Like if I know how a trio, triangle
couple's gonna turn out, yeah.
is gonna like turn out, then I feel worse for the third party involved. But like the only times that you really see that is in like the cases like Aphmau where it's like a prequel, or B, in side stories that actually have to dip back to a little like before, and it's like taking place at the same time as previous chapters of another story. Like a side story that got started later sort of thing, but to fully understand, you need to see another aspect of the original story.
Yeah, are there many love triangles that start in side stories?
I'm reading about one right now, actually.
Of course.
I have like I think I can name like 5 off the top of my head.
Okay, I'll trust you on that.
If I'm going to get close to Aaron, I need to know why he's staring at her like that. Maybe she can help me get closer to him. Don't worry, my sweet, shy, mysterious boy. I'll bring you out of your shell yet.
So, I still stand by the fact there's a difference between this and Yandere's. There is still a difference. Just she's blowing the lines a little bit. Right. So that
I have a way to explain it that I just thought of.
Okay.
Like when the third party in a love triangle gets a side story. To see like where they end up. That's usually how it goes.
Well, I mean, in that case, it would kind of be like good to see in that regard. Like you see they end up happy somewhere else, I guess, I would hope.
Yes, but it always makes me feel bad because you usually have to start before the like pair have gotten together to see where this fourth person originally comes from, sort of thing. And how that's like true. How they get together and stuff.
Okay, I see. In that case, actually, the setup actually it works to person's advantage, actually. And maybe feeling bad for Jenny like right away makes us care for her more in this instance, possibly.
Jenny and Luca.
You know what? That might actually also explain Kai Mao and Ian Mao. Everyone knew where the story was going and knew it wasn't going to last. So they felt bad and thus latched onto the characters and cared more for them. That's an interesting angle to explore. I don't know how I'd like.
I broke Jacob.
No, but I'm gonna give that one some thought actually, because there's some story potential in that if that's an actual phenomenon that happens. Well, you know,
I wouldn't say it's I'll
leave
my
drink to that.
That I've seen.
I'll leave my drink to that. I'll say that. Okay, yeah, that mug is way too tall for Levi drinks usually. Yeah, I don't.
Do you get any viewers?
On what? On Facebook Live?
On Facebook?
Well, actually,
yeah, I don't have. I did try to watch.
Sometimes there'll be one person who appears on here, but apparently you have to like actually like log into Facebook in order to actually see the live streams, which seems like it's like it defeats the purpose. Because I know that you can watch YouTube videos and live streams without logging into like having an account, and you can clearly do the same with Twitch because Josh doesn't comment on Twitch videos, but yet still watches the streams on Twitch. So, yeah, that was definitely a thing. I think that's where some people are missing out. I don't know. I've left my Facebook or community tab, so I guess if people friend me there, then they can see the streams. No.
Yeah, I don't know my Facebook login, so.
Oh, you're okay. That might also be an issue if you forget. But then again, you know your YouTube and Twitch login, so it's just the same situation.
Well, yeah, but you don't stream on YouTube or Twitch right now.
Yeah, well. I mean, I do gacha reviews still on YouTube, because for some reason,
but that's
a problem.
What about Twitch?
Oh, Twitch. The thing is that for some reason, there's some accounts they just can't log into right now. They're looking at the issue at the moment, like at the headquarters themselves. It's just that, yeah, still a thing.
I wasn't sure if that was like code for you got like a what's it called, copyright strike or something.
Oh no, I wouldn't put that in code. I'm gonna just disclose that right away because that's the whole reason I had to move to just Twitch in the first place. Well, I say just Twitch and here. Technically, all of my streams that I've done recently have been like archived on Facebook. So if anyone wants to actually watch all of the VODs before they come out on YouTube, they're all on Facebook, and there's not much I can do about it because that's the only place they get saved, because that's where I download them from to put them on YouTube in the first place. So yeah, I guess that's the way to like topple my entire YouTube viewership strategy, is just friending me on Facebook. So yeah, I guess in that regard, don't friend me on Facebook.
You're just like, no, don't friend me.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, obviously, do please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters and subscribe to us already on YouTube. As for the thoughts of the episode, yeah, still having a lot of fun with this one. Needs more terror, but you know, I feel like then the major drawback of this one is that we're going back into over-explanation city, which we haven't actually had a risk of that ever since, well, the end of Things Drop High Season 2. So it could just be a bridge writing-wise. That's a very weird thing to point out. That seems like more of a subconscious thing. Unless there's like such a level of genius somewhere that I'm not grasping, that mimics the style of what was given before and then transitions it into the new. But I don't think that level of scrutiny was actually applied to this script, especially because I don't think there's ever that much scrutiny for these scripts. Maybe a few episodes here and there, but honestly, a lot of them is just like, all right, we need content. Let's make something. I don't know, which is why, you know, we said back in the day, you know, that Aphmau could very well just take a break during all of these and not be so hectic. She had the loyal fan base that were going to come back anyway, and clearly a tactic for new viewers as well, that's to varying degrees of success. So I think it would have been
varying degrees of success. I remember when Aphmau hit like 4 mil. Aphmau's at like 12 or something.
No, I'm not talking about modern Aphmau. I'm talking about the fact that she had the cult audience. And when I talk about new audiences, I'm referencing the explanation stuff. That did not succeed on being like good storytelling because it was just repeating stuff we already had seen before.
Oh, you mean like in the story?
Yeah, I'm not talking about like Aphmau's stars for the new audiences now. Yeah, the new modern audiences, like that's a whole different level, in which I don't think there's much scrutiny at all there either. Actually, to be honest.
You're just like, no.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a case of, okay, what's on Google Trends at the moment? Okay, what is this thing? Let us make this thing. I'd say a lot of effort still goes into like the coding of everything and making sure like all of the programming actually works. So yeah. Okay,
Jenny's a kitty cat.
I will put this. I'll put it on center. There we go. Jeez.
I made it purple for Jenny because Jenny's a kitty cat now.
Jenny's I think you're thinking of June, you know, June the Mifa that looks like Jenny, kind of.
I don't remember June. I just figured I wanted to draw a cat and I wanted it to be Jenny, so I made the eyes purple.
I see.
And Jenny blushed a lot, so then they're blushed.
You know, that's a weird thing actually. We've seen both Jenny and Hank in this episode with purple eyes. And the only reason I point that out is because Toby in season 6 was told by Agent R that his eyes gave away his entire heritage, and the fact that, you know, the purple eyes had some sort of like connection and immunity somewhat to like the Ultima, or like counteracted it in some way. I don't know. I don't quite know. But those people still have those eyes. It's like how Vlad also has green eyes, but yeah, it's a different shade of green, so maybe it's a different shade of purple. I don't know. I think Jess needs to stop making like purple. I think Jess needs to stop making like eye-themed character like visible traits. It works with the Ultima because Ultima's like fiery red. That's not a very common eye color. But when you get to like green and purple, which we've seen clearly here, you know, that's doesn't quite go as well. Sorry, just
I'm literally trying to write an eye story, an eye color based story right now.
Well, okay, yes. Depends on the medium. I'm saying in MyStreet it doesn't work as well. I've seen what you do, but the eyes relate to like the magic system within it. I know that story in particular. It's like, okay, fine, that's fair. But yeah.
Yeah, but world building is kind of my only like world building is probably like my best attribute when it comes to creative writing, so
I mean, all right, that's that. I mean, that's a good thing to actually have in there anyway, actually.
Yeah, it doesn't help with story continuity though.
I thought it would, because you have you know the rules of the universe and stuff, so you're not going to...
I know the rules of the universe, but then I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot this character was dating this character, and then got them together with another character. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize you
it's
got
the
to that
curse
point
of being
already.
a multi-shipper.
The curse of the multi-ship. Got it.
I'm good with shipping anybody with everybody, basically.
You know, that
like,
does...
Your best friend's best friend? Yeah,
track.
sure.
That does actually track, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. That's why I think you need to in that case, I recommend maybe putting like a relationship like table or chart of some kind. I know you've planned stuff in tables in Google Docs anyway, so why not just put a relationship one as like, say, this character dating this character, or married to this character, or I don't know, currently interested in this character. I don't know, something like that.
I gave Jenny Jacob hair.
Right. It looks like you wet a towel in the shower and then dropped it on the head.
Nah, it was like I ran out of room, so I couldn't do Jacob's afro correctly.
Yeah, you know it's not that long right now.
Yeah, this was supposed to be the old hair, but then it was too short. I ran out of room.
Should have just done the short hair. Anyways, what do you think of the episode?
I like Jenny. I forgot about Jenny. Well, yeah. From what I did remember about Jenny, I didn't like Jenny. But now I like Jenny.
What is it you remembered about Jenny that you didn't like her? But just the fact that she was into Aaron?
Probably.
Yeah, you know, I think Jess might have discovered the way to do that kind of thing properly in the sense that because people are already going to be against her because, you know, all the Armau people out there, she makes the people who are into Snathmel like much more likable, so that they're actually like contenders, I guess, in people's minds.
Except they're not.
That goes back into like the days of like the Garmau and Larmau wars of diaries, in a sense,
which were like so dumb. Like,
you gotta make
would
them...
she ever date her guards?
Well, I mean, that wasn't demonized until later, because I do remember there was a lord somewhere in diaries that did actually date one of the guards.
But like, it just like
that was addressed later.
Yeah. But like, it's also like it creates such like a conflict of interest usually as well.
I don't know. Tell that to the person who makes the who makes probably the most prolific gacha series out there, like Befriending My Bodyguard or something. I don't know, something bodyguard.
But like, that's successful probably because it's part taboo.
Well, there you go.
Slightly, but like, Aphmau wasn't there. Also, granted, Garth could have been a contender if he wasn't a guard, because he also was technically next in line. Kind of. That was a little iffy. But Garth could have been next in line.
Well, see, isn't the difference in social ranks then somewhat of a taboo in itself, and that's more like the forbidden love aspect.
Like, it really, like, even then, I can definitely see that. However, there was like the rise of Phoenix Drop, and Phoenix Drop did become one of one of the most successful villages and stuff.
Yeah.
So I would say that, like, although it does not rival Ocasus, I don't feel that like difference in power would be so extreme. If that makes any sense. Granted, I could also see them trying to get Garth and Nicole together. That seems so much more likely.
Wasn't Nicole also a? Oh wait, no. I was gonna say, wasn't she also a lord? No, she was a god too. Yeah, I think.
No, she was also a guard, but she was also next in line to become a lord, and in another powerhouse.
Okay, I love how I love how the thing that deters you in this instance for the first time seems to be social rank of all things. That's your deal breaker, apparently, for shipping.
It just seemed stupid because like I get shipping, but they were fighting over it actually happening in the show or in the series itself, which was never going to happen.
Well, they didn't know it wasn't going to happen at the time.
Okay, but
the series was structured in a way that made it that implied that she was going to be interested in one of these two eventually. That's how it was structured until Aaron came along.
However, it was also structured in a way that if that ever did happen, that would take away from the overlying plot of the story to the extent that just didn't seem worth it.
I doubt the fans at the time would have cared. Although now you mention that would have strangely been something interesting to think about. Like, you know, all of this, but it turns out it wasn't the happy ever after that Ethan was seeking.
Well, because
that's a good
lesson,
I
don't know. Personally, I was more invested in Aphmau's world building, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like the whole history of the world, stuff like that. I was so mad when season either one or I think it was season 1. Was it season? Which one ended in Hyria's hut?
I think
that was season 2.
That was 2, yes.
Episode 100 of season 2. I was so mad with how that ended because it left me with so many questions. Or
That's good, because then that prompts you to come back for a third season. That's not a bad thing necessarily.
Season 3 was a disaster.
Yes, but you didn't know it was going to be a disaster at the time.
I did not know. I actually recorded a reaction
also, you
video with
referenced
one of
season
my
3
best
in
friends.
this stream. You referenced season 3 in this stream when you brought up Apple/Orange Man.
Look. Okay, I obviously I watched season 3, but I was still mad with the way it ended. Because there was no closure.
Because it just didn't end. It didn't end. That's the thing.
You know, there are rushed endings, and then there is just no ending.
That's not season 2's fault, though, is it? Season 2 did its job in that regard.
Season 2 should have been the end.
I suppose. I don't think there was that much that was actually really resolved at the end. There was a lot
Zane
to
was
do
dead.
Still.
They could have called it quits.
Well, Zane was dead before season. Zane was dead before season 2 ended. Zane, the whole Zane dead thing, I guess.
Zane died in episode 87.
Oh my word! Can you imagine if Diaries had ended on the last episode just with Aaron dying? Could you imagine how furious people would be?
I was bawling my eyes out when that happened.
There would be riots in the street if Diaries had ended right there, and that could have been. And then a year later in Emerald Secret, could you imagine if people thought the series was going to end the exact same way, and they just all come up and then it turns out there's
that was only a year apart.
Yes, in fact, they pointed out it was actually the same month. It was April 2016 for Diaries and April 2017 for Emerald Secrets.
So I got into Diaries around the time that Aaron died, I just realized.
Well.
Because I got introduced to Diaries in March of 2016.
I guess it was somewhat good then that it continued.
Okay, but regardless, the point of that was that what was I talking about? I don't remember
disappointment
what the point
at the end of season 2, I think, which was then
no, before that. I never finished the original point, but now I don't remember.
The Garmel Larmal war and the social the different social ranks, and that being a deal breaker for you in shipping when nothing else seems to be.
It wasn't a deal breaker per se, but it was a deal breaker on canonical shipping.
I don't know. I mean, just as far as like the social ranking goes, Aphmau rose from literally nothing to becoming a lord in like 5 episodes. I don't think it would have made too much of a difference. And her attitude actually was different from most of the lords around, which is what made her so distinct.
Yes, but having her get together with either Lawrence or having her get together with Lawrence, I don't know. That could have gone either way. Like, but having her get together with like Garth or something would have led to more political debates and less actual action, which was the primary focus of the show at the time.
I don't know.
Like exploration, like saving Phoenix Drop, raising her kids, starting another Phoenix Drop, but because like Garth had a reputation that like outside of himself, if that makes any sense.
So did the reincarnation of a goddess herself, you know?
Yes, but Garth was an ideable person, whereas Aphmau was less ideable at the like in like season 1 and stuff. Even going into season 2, actually, Aphmau was unideable. Because I think the first time she got ID'd as somehow related to the Lady Irene was when she was kidnapped after working with bandits in the
their word wouldn't carry much weight. That is true.
Yeah. So whereas Garth could pull out the Ocas's title or whatnot if anyone figured out where Garth was, because he was in hiding as well, I think.
Yeah, well,
I'm pretty sure Garth was in hiding.
They did figure out where he was. That was the whole thing with Zane, and then that the reveal of them being brothers, and then afterwards that prompted the war at the end. So it had come into fruition already. But also, don't you feel like all these political intrigues and stuff, and all that aftermath would have been good for the story, and would have possibly led to even more action as well as political debates?
I think it would have shifted the focus away from Aphmau and more onto the issues with Ocasus. At least, like, with Garmau specifically, I feel like that would have shifted a lot more away from Aphmau's exploration and stuff like that. And, like, the original, like, going back all the way to Minecraft Diaries Origins was just Aphmau exploring.
Yes.
Like, that was the primary, like, and then Minecraft Diaries Season 1 was the story version, but the entire, like, the primary focus was still exploration.
It wouldn't be the first time. I say it wouldn't be the first time that Aphmau would change the nature of one of our shows, but actually, yeah, it would have been the first time, not the last time. Yeah, because I was about to like make the comparison between like Emerald Secret changing the entire genre of MyStreet single-handedly versus this, but that would have happened later. So yeah, I mean, okay, fine, but also I think about it, it would have brought Aphmau into that world more so and more so, even if you didn't want to actually be there, and thus creating conflict for her. Either that, or they just both escape it together, and they just keep exploring by them and trying to avoid any more of that. Yeah, it depends on. It's all about the execution again, I suppose.
Yes, like if they had executed it that way, and I love how we've just like ignored Lawrence. Lawrence is outdated at this point. This is only about
we're ignoring the Falcon Claw University itself. We're ignoring the very reason we're here at the moment, so it's fine.
But like if they would have most likely had to have skipped like not just town but the entire country, and probably would have ended up in Rouen, because that's like on the other side of Caucasus.
You mean Tula? Tula's the other
Tula, yeah.
Which, you know what? I wouldn't have minded. There was a whole war going on with Tula, so that would have been a good thing.
I would have wanted to see that, to be honest.
Aphmau and Garth as spies in Tula, hiding from both their reputations and names.
But they wouldn't even be spies though, because they wouldn't be reporting back to anybody. They would just be fugitives.
I'm pretty sure that Aphmau could not like contain herself without doing something to save her village later on.
Her village went to shambles.
Exactly. She still wanted to save it immediately after that.
Her village blew up. When Garth comes back, the village blows up. If she's together with Garth, she does not have a village.
Okay, you're saying she's together with Garth, particularly at that point. we never established like a point at which they would have gone together. You've just been going on like, okay, it has to be this specific one. But bear in mind, we've got like 237 episodes to play with here, most of which Garth was around for.
Even if Garth got together with her during the first season, he still would have stayed behind because Zane is his responsibility.
Yes,
which would lead to the issue of why would Aaron go after Zane at that point?
Because he's Zane.
But he gave up his life not only because he's Zane, but also because he saw how much Aphmau also needed Gareth.
And if they had been together at that point, she needed even more.
Correct. However, he did that because he knew Aphmau so well. If they never really got together, they wouldn't have known each other as well.
I mean, I suppose you could have still had their friendship and bonding over But the thing is that the main connection they had is they were both lords and they knew the responsibility around that. So I think that still would have happened. They wouldn't have necessarily been raising a child together and also conceiving another one. But,
yeah.
there still would be things that led up to that eventuality. And if not, they would have tried to find some other way of getting Garth back, which was, of course, most of the objective of season 2. Or at least Aphmau's objective in the back of my mind.
And regardless, and I love this, the village blows up. The village is also at war with Scaleswind, and if she's also on the run from Ocassus, I'm pretty sure she would just take the village with her to Tula.
Ooh, and a mass evacuation expedition. That'd be really hard to film, especially with NPC Minecraft at the time, but nonetheless a decent story. Okay.
Are we making a Garmau? Like,
I mean, okay, some of these ideas I'm like pocketing for myself, like think about the concepts of that and the idea of a mass evacuation happening. Like right now in Mob Slayer, I was thinking possibly, I don't know, spoilers was for Mob Slayer, I guess it depends on how far in production when this VOD comes out. I was thinking that the village that they're in in the first few episodes, something happens to it, and thus they either get kicked out or they have to move everyone. So honestly, I can see that becoming a major thing and somehow affecting the story. Because actually, we've seen a bunch of quests and stuff, but not really involving homeless citizens and stuff like that. So I don't know. Could be that's why I was thinking. Okay, so if it's not done there, it could just do that here or something. Sometimes I'll get inspired by premises of stories and okay, this could have gone in this particular way if this had happened, or if previous continuity had been acknowledged, stuff like that. So just doesn't have to be a Garmau spoiler. Could be, depends.
They might not even be at war with Scaleswind.
Oh well, I mean that could be, if they're not at war with Scaleswind, that could be their destination.
Yeah, I was just thinking
they're going to go to Ocassus because of Garth, but they could go to Scaleswind actually.
Yeah, I was just thinking they might not be at war with Scaleswind because part of the reason they were at war with Scaleswind was because of the lack of communication between Aphmau, Garth, Lawrence, Dante, the whole crew.
I wonder actually if they had taken refuge into Scaleswind, especially with Dante having been the most trusted person in Phoenix Drop. What would have happened if they all found about the Nicole thing at the same time?
Oh my god, what would have happened if Dante knocked Nicole up before they took refuge in Scaleswind? So then they're at Scandal 2.0 and Dante's gotten kicked out of Scaleswind.
Well, Dimitri was already born by that point. He was already he was like a pretty decently old kid at that point. So that would have
was in season 3.
He was still he came back in season 3, but he was still around in season 2.
Wait, when the hell was Dimitri born?
Remember, he was 9 or 10.
Wait. Because when they came back,
it was during the 15-year time skip. So
yes,
Dimitri would have been born.
Okay, yeah. Hold up. I was I know.
So if they take refuge in the Lord's Palace, see, this is why I like doing butterfly effect stuff. You add one change to one thing, and suddenly everything spirals out of control. It's amazing.
Fine. I'm giving you a challenge, I guess.
Okay.
I want a what if series where Zane was born after Vlad.
Okay. A simple change, but that would be... wait, are we talking about Diaries or MyStreet here?
Diaries.
Guess I'm
because Vlad
Diaries,
was
then.
a little bit babied to some degree by Ziana as not only the youngest, but also the not technically royalty kid. Zane would have been the kid that was born to make up for that.
In
that case, Zane would have been
He's the
born...
reconciliation baby.
Yes, that is literally what could have happened.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
At
fine.
which point, I feel like he would have not only a lot more favor with Ziana, but as the baby, because yeah, it's Ziana, but also from Garte as like, oh my god, my wife came back to me after I was like an idiot.
Wait, after he was... I love the players that are like, oh, I was an idiot. My wife came back after her affair, and I'm blaming myself for that, apparently.
Ziana is perfect in every way, shape, and form, therefore Garte must have been dumb.
She had an affair! What do you mean?
Garte is dumb. It's Garte's fault.
Okay. That is
like terrible. I can't imagine Ziana having an affair for no good reason.
We don't know too much about Diaries Ziana, to be honest. I don't imagine MyStreet Ziana having an affair at all, actually. But, Diaries Ziana...
I feel like Diaries Ziana was actually set up. Like it was...
Well, yeah, she was set up. She was mostly set up in mentions, actually. Because I know when she finally does appear, there's like a whole episode dedicated to it. So, yeah. And a lot of what we knew about her came from, mostly from her kids, actually.
I meant like arranged marriage sort of set up.
Oh, okay. I will have to look into that.
Because I wouldn't be surprised if that was if that's what actually happened.
All right. Is that we're going back into like, I guess, a step parent playing their cards right, I suppose. It's come full circle now. Bringing it back. All right. And I think that's a good point to wrap up the stream because we got very off topic. And, all you said about the episode was that you liked Jenny. Okay. Fine. So the episode was great. We enjoyed it. It could have done with a little bit less exposition, especially towards the beginning. Much less exposition towards the beginning, actually.
A little more Antonio.
A little more Terra. And there we go.
Aaron with some confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. Aaron just with the power to stand up and move from a bench, that would have helped. That would have worked. Yeah, exactly. Okay, anyways, next stream is going to be on the 8th, and it is actually I've said this before on the previous stream, but actually I'll show you too. I love how the thumbnails of the next two episodes there's literally just like contrast each other. So you get Will She Notice Me, which is obviously the one today, and that's Aaron looking off as Aphmau's distracted in the background. But then you have Will Aaron Notice Me next episode, where Aaron's the one looking into the background and Jenny is not being noticed.
Aww.
Yeah, I was gonna say, with that just all you have to do now is then just have like I guess Jenny being the one who's like absent and Aphmau pining after her, and you complete the entire triangle. They do say that love triangles actually they're not really proper triangles. They're mostly just like two extremes, like colliding and backing someone into a corner. So, you know, in this, yeah, but either way, exactly like that. They're just like, yeah, two extremes, like it's completely, like it's open. There's no completion. Yeah. That's a square or a rhombus, actually, because of where you're tilting it. All right. Anyway, so yeah, Illuminati
This
not
is what
confirmed.
honest
Thank you
relationships
for
should look
watching.
like.
Yeah, Illuminati not confirmed. Thanks for watching, and please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters, and subscribe if you've done so already. And we will see you back here on October 8th. We won't see you back here because no one watches these on Facebook, but we'll be here back on the 8th.
True.
Same time, same place, 5 years later. And on that note, until next time, farewell.